Hello, welcome back. Thank you so much for being here. Today we're going to be ranking all of the makeup that I tried in January and in December. So December I didn't get a ton of products, so I decided to roll that rankings into January. So we do have 15 products to talk about today. But before we do get into today's video, I do want to say a huge thank you to Luisa for working with me on a portion of today's video. If you're familiar with my channel, I pretty much exclusively wear Luisa pieces. I just love them so much because they never irritate my ears. They always look so delicate and dainty. They never feel heavy. They're never uncomfortable, but they always just elevate all of my outfits from day to day, whether that be work from home outfits or actually leaving the house outfits. So I love their pieces, and I just love that they're just so elegant and polished, and they really have something for everyone. They have a lot of their pieces available in both gold and silver. They have also recently introduced a solid gold line. They've also introduced a diamond line, and those pieces are absolutely stunning. All of their pieces actually start at $35 and up, so you can get some really stunning pieces for such an affordable price point. So today I am wearing the Orin Triple. So the original Orin is one of my favorites. I have it in both gold and silver, but when they came out with the triple, I was so excited because it really does make more of a statement without being too large and bulky. And I'm also wearing the Jane Heart hoop. So these are basically just a regular hoop, but they're in the shape of a heart. So they're so cute. It's such a fun little spin on a basic hoop, and they do have these sparkly little diamonds all the way around. They're just so pretty. These are so lightweight. I constantly forget they're in my ears, and I think these are so cute, especially with Valentine's Day coming. And like I said, their earrings never irritate my ears. Even if I forget to take them out, even if I sleep in them, they never ever irritate my ears or feel heavy or uncomfortable. So I absolutely love these. And they do currently have a sale ongoing. They currently have a buy more, save more event. So if you buy 2 items, you can get 15% off, or if you buy 3 items, you can save 20%, which is always really exciting, especially on already affordable pieces. So if you are interested in shopping anything, I will leave my link down below. And I want to say another huge thank you to Luisa for working with me on today's video. Let's get into my ranking. So any products that I tried too close to the end of the month will probably be rolled into February, because I do like to test my products quite a bit before I actually put them in my month end reviews. So let's hop into it. Coming in at number 15 is from MAC, and this is their Chroma Crayon eyeshadow stick in the shade High Taupe. So this was part of their holiday collection, but I was really excited to see an eyeshadow stick from MAC, and I'm kind of surprised that they don't have a line of these already. I do think this is pretty, but I will say on swatch, this looks prettier than it actually is. On swatch, it looks very shiny, and the color is beautiful. But on the eyes, I just found it to be very lackluster. I really wanted the same effect on the eyes, and I just didn't feel like I got that. It did blend out easily. It was comfortable on the lids. It did wear pretty well throughout the day as well, but I just found it to be so lackluster on the lids, especially once compared to a swatch. So I didn't love this as much as I thought I might. I would love to see MAC come out with a line of eyeshadow sticks. Perhaps this was them sort of testing the waters to see if they should. And maybe, but I would definitely love to see a little bit more sparkle and shine from eyeshadow sticks from MAC. Now, these last 2 months are actually quite hard to rank because I tried some really amazing products, but coming in at number 14 is from Nars, and this is their blush in the shade Impassioned. So this is from their Valentine's Day collection for this year, and this is actually a pre-existing shade already. I do love the packaging of their Valentine's Day collection, but I was a little bit disappointed. This is sort of a re-promoted blush, and the shade itself is really more of like a pastel, almost lavender leaning pink, and I just really didn't find I loved the shade as much. The formula itself is fine. There's nothing wrong with it. It didn't impress me, but it didn't disappoint me either. It's a solid formula. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just the shade that I wasn't really into, and I was just disappointed that it was just a re-promoted shade. Coming in at number 13 is a foundation I tried fairly recently. This is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Impeccable Foundation. So this foundation, I did a full day review and wear test, and I've tried it several times since. So I like this. I like the coverage that it gives because it really does give an absolutely stunning coverage. It has this soft matte dry down, but I didn't find it dried down fully matte on me. I have the shade 0CR. So this shade is described as cool with rosier undertones. I even double checked their website to make sure they're not like MAC, where a shade that's described as cool is actually warm, and it's not. This is fully meant for cooler undertones, but I felt like this foundation pulled yellow on me, and that was further confirmed by my husband when he told me I looked yellow. So I know that is not just me. On camera, I think this looks really good, but in real life, I do feel like this has quite a yellow pull to it, which I do not like. I didn't appreciate that. Again, the coverage is fantastic. It blended out very easily. I do think if you have dry skin, you definitely want to prep your skin really well with this, but I just didn't feel like it dried down fully matte, so I felt like it kind of retained this almost sort of tacky skincare-like feel to it throughout the day, which is fine, but I was really hoping for that more matte finish, kind of like the Huda Beauty Easy Blur. I just love the way that dries down, even on my dry skin. I didn't find that this transferred a ton, but it just felt a little bit heavier than I would have liked. So because of the shade and because of the way it doesn't fully dry down and because it felt a little bit heavy, I don't love this as much as I thought I might. But I do really like the coverage, and I think this is a really great full glam foundation, so I will definitely get quite a bit of use out of it. It's just, it's not going to be in my top drawer. Coming in at number 12 is from Nars. This is their Sweet Kiss eyeshadow quad. This is also from their Valentine's Day collection. I do have a full review on this collection up, and I do think this is really pretty. I like this color story. I love this soft pink, this red, this sort of pinkier shimmer. I think it's beautiful. I think the formula in here is lovely. It's really pretty. You can definitely get some really pretty looks out of it. I don't think it's anything that I can't replicate anywhere else in my collection, but I do think it's a really pretty quad, and I loved how silky the mattes were. I thought it was a really beautiful, really solid eyeshadow quad. At number 11, I have the Lunar New Year lipsticks from Charlotte Tilbury. So we have the shade Kiss of Fortune, which is kind of almost like an orangey red, which I don't prefer on myself. And then we have the shade Kiss of Mystery, which is almost like a deeper mauve. It's a bit deeper than Pillow Talk Medium. So Kiss of Mystery, which is the more mauve tone shade, is their kissing formula. Kiss of Fortune is the matte revolution. I think they're both beautiful shades. We know how much I love the formula of Charlotte Tilbury lipsticks. The packaging on these is unmatched. These are so beautiful. I think the only reason I'm ranking them a little bit lower is because I just didn't love the shades as much as I had hoped. I will definitely still reach for these and use these because I do think they're beautiful. It's just, there's definitely colors that I'm going to reach for over these. At number 10, we have another Nars palette. This is the Afterglow Tempting Eyeshadow Palette. This one is really pretty, and I think this one got a lot of our attention because this was Nars kind of throwing a purple at us rather than their basic warm tone shades. We still have a lot of these general Nars shades. We have this warm brown, we have these champagne shades up here, we have these sort of pinky browns on the bottom, we have this pinky shade in the middle, and if you were to cover up these two shades here in the middle, you have a pretty standard Nars palette. That being said, I do think this is a really pretty color story. I was wearing this one in a very recent video. I think in my ABH foundation review video, I was wearing this palette, and I thought the look came together very well. I really loved it, and it kind of inspired me to play with this one a lot more. Again, I do love the Nars eyeshadow formula, so I love this palette, and I do love that they branched out a little bit, even though it's only two shades kind of branching out. I still think it's really beautiful, and I was excited to see something like this. So while I don't think it's necessarily a need, I still think it's a really pretty palette, and I am really glad that I do have it. Coming in at number 9 is from Stila, and this is their Heaven's Dew Gel Lip Oil. This is in the shade Ballerina. I don't even know if I've talked about this one yet, but I do think it's a really pretty formula. It's just in this short, chunky little tube. It has like a really nice thick doe foot, and it is really pretty. I do have it on my lips right now on top of the Merit lipstick in the shade Classic. So this is more of a pink, but it's got a bit of a mauve tone to it. This is kind of a thicker oil, but it is really nice. It does give a really nice shine to the lips, but it doesn't sort of bleed everywhere into the lip lines, which is always appreciated. It's definitely not the most long wearing. It is just a lip oil, but I do think it's really pretty and it's really comfortable and it's really, really shiny. So I love this little lip oil. I've been wearing it a ton since I got it a few weeks ago. I just think it's beautiful. Coming in at number 8 is from Nars. Again, this is their Valentine's Day collection. This is their Explicit lipstick in the shade Only Yours. So this was an exclusive lipstick shade. The packaging on this lipstick is absolutely unmatched. It is so beautiful. The thing with this lipstick is that the shade is really more of a fall type shade to me. This shade is a little bit on the warmer, deeper side. It kind of reminds me of Morocco from Nars, but I super love the new Explicit lipstick line. These are cream lipsticks, but they are so comfortable and they're actually very long wearing. These are such a phenomenal formula. This packaging is so beautiful and it is magnetic. It's all of the things I want. This is a really gorgeous lipstick formula. It's just, I don't love the shade as much as I thought I would. I absolutely love Morocco, but again, that's a shade I'm going to wear in the fall. So I might wear this a lot in the fall, but the packaging is very Valentine's Day. So that was a little bit confusing, but overall, I do love this one. Coming in at number 7 is from YSL, and this is their Couture Mini Clutch in 125. Now on Nordstrom, where I got mine, this is called Blooming Lust, and I think on the YSL website, it's called Endless Love. But it's the same shades. So if you've been around my channel for any length of time, you know the absolute love I have for the YSL quads. I just love these so much. These have the most creamy mattes. They're almost like a cream to powder. They're just so beautiful and easy to blend. So first of all, the packaging on this one, so stunning. I love this gradient. I can't get over how beautiful it is. The shades in here are also quite pretty. They do have this sort of heart embossment, which I'm partially losing just from using the palette. And the shimmer in this one is actually very iridescent. It doesn't have much of a base to it at all, which is fine. I do think it gives a really pretty, really iridescent type look. And I think the shades all work very, very well together. One thing I found when I was reviewing this quad was that I was able to dupe this quad perfectly with the Natasha Denona Retro palette. So if you have the Retro palette, you can definitely pass on this color story, but I do think it's a beautiful quad. I don't think it's going to be my favorite of all of the quads. They do have some really good ones and ones that are amazing for every day. So I don't think this is going to be one that's going to be my favorite, but there's absolutely nothing wrong with it either. Coming in at number 6 is from Viseart, and this is their Lila Lumiere Étendue palette. So they did release the Archives collection for Black Friday, and I did order the 2 larger palettes, so they also came out with a bunch of quads. Now, the larger palette sold out very, very quickly, and they did say that if there was enough interest that they would consider bringing these palettes back. And as of, I believe, last weekend, it looks like they will be bringing them back. So I will keep an eye on that and let you know as soon as they re-release these. But this is the Lila Lumiere. This is really pretty. One thing about the Archives collection is they do have shades that are in all of their other palettes. So if you have all of the other palettes, then you can probably skip these. But these color stories are so beautifully curated. The Lila Lumiere, like I said, it's definitely on the cooler tone side. This is a very pinky gray color story, but it is so pretty. When I first reviewed it, I felt a little bit lukewarm toward it, but that's because I liked the other palette that came out with it so much. But I still think this is absolutely stunning, especially if you're into cool tones, if you're into pinks. It's just such a gorgeous palette. It's a perfect everyday palette with a little bit of a spin, and I can't say enough good things about the Viseart formula. I just think they're so high end. They are a pro formula, that would be why, but their formula is just fantastic. And I love how they've changed their packaging, especially for these. So they've had their palettes recently just opening like this rather than the trifold that they used to have. And we're not getting a mirror anymore, but I don't really mind. And of course, for this collection, it also has that sort of patent leather type look to it, which I think just adds to the experience. So I love these. I'm so excited that they're going to bring them back. At number 5 is a single eyeshadow that I picked up during the Black Friday sales. I really didn't take advantage of many Black Friday sales at all, but one I did take advantage of was Armani, and I picked up one of their eye tints in the shade 20M. So I've been curious about these. I'd heard a lot of good things about them, and this shade is definitely a little bit warmer than I would have liked, but the shade I wanted was sold out. So these are just a liquid eyeshadow. This is their matte formula. They also do have shimmery options as well. This is fantastic. So it does just have this cute little doe foot. And what I like is how quickly these go on the eyes. I do recommend doing one eye at a time, but you can just use a brush to blend those edges. You can leave it like that, or you can throw a shimmer on top. I do want to try more shades of these because I've enjoyed this one so much. Like I said, I do recommend doing one eye at a time, but they blend out so quick and easy. And they wear all day long on my oily lids. These are just a very impressive product. I know they've been around for quite a while, but I really didn't know what I was missing, if I'm being honest. Coming in at number 4 is another foundation I tried very recently. This is the Dior Hydra Nude in the shade 0N. I love this foundation. So first of all, it is Dior, so it is pricey, but the shade 0N is my absolute perfect shade match. I love this so much. I love the way this dries down. This also seems to dry down to almost like a soft matte on me. It's very comfortable. I do not have to powder my skin if I don't want to, which I love having that option. Having dry skin, I like not having to use powder, and it blends out so easily. It's like an absolute dream. It gives me a high medium coverage. It's so comfortable. It wears all day long. It works well with all of my other products. This is easily becoming one of my very favorite foundations very, very quickly. I do want to do a side-by-side test with my beloved Nars Light Reflecting Foundation because that has been my favorite for years, because I think this could actually potentially give it a run for its money. I do love the fragrance. It is this beautiful, super clean fragrance, and I love the scent so much. Now, the scent does go away after application. You don't smell it anymore, but I do think this is such a fantastic formula, and if you don't have an issue with fragrance, you will love this. Coming in at number 3 is from Viseart, and this is the other palette in their Archives collection. This is the Praline Chocolat palette. This one is so beautiful. This is our boring neutral brown palette, which are my favorite shades. I think this is so beautiful. I love this palette. This has to be one of my favorites for day to day. I just love these rich browns with these sort of softer shimmery browns and some of the cooler tone browns. We have a lot of true neutrals in here. This is just a fantastic palette. I love it so much. If I could curate a perfect brown palette, this would be it. This is just my perfect everyday palette, and I love it so much. And I've already mentioned how much I love their new packaging and the Viseart formula, but this was definitely the showstopper for me. Coming in at number 2 is from Natasha Denona, and this is her mini eye sculpt palette. Now I see she has registered a trademark for the eye sculpt palette, so it does look like we're going to get a bigger version of this, but for now we just have this little mini 5-pan, and I think it's so beautiful. These first two are these more silky mattes, which is a new formula. The only complaint I kind of have is that this shade is already in the Mini Dream palette, and these 2 shades are in her My Dream palette. So those 3 deeper shades all pre-exist in other palettes, so you might have them already. However, I do think this is the absolute perfect curation of matte eyeshadows. We know how much I love Natasha Denona shadows. I love her mattes. I do think an all matte palette is such a fantastic staple to have. I think if you already have matte palettes in your collection, you could absolutely skip this, but I do also think it's just a great staple to have. And if you're someone who travels often, this size is so perfect. So I love this, whether you're into creating all matte looks or whether you like to just throw something on and then pull out one of your shimmery singles. This is perfect, and I do think this is a fantastic palette. I don't love that we have repeat shades, but it's such a good palette, and it's the perfect curation of all matte shades that I'm just not going to complain about it. And coming in at number 1 are some new blushes that I've been absolutely in love with. This is the YSL Make Me Blush powder blushes. Now, these are so interesting because normally Canada does not get anything first, but we actually got these before Christmas, and I believe they've just now become widely available in the US and in Europe, and I do think Europe has some different shades than we do. I know the US has one deep shade that I don't think we have here in Canada, but I picked up the shade 6 Rose Haze and 37 Peachy Nude. These are both in the matte formula. Some of the blushes in this line are more satin. I believe they do also have a more shimmery formula as well. Both of the ones I got are matte. I do love a good matte blush. These are incredibly buttery. I did do a full dedicated review on these and I just love them so much. I feel like a lot of us are getting sort of burnt out on blushes, which is completely fair, but these are so good. They're so good, and I am absolutely having some sort of weird love affair with YSL lately. The quads are such a favorite. I love the bronzer and now these blushes, and I see that they're coming out with highlighters and I'm so excited. But the packaging on these blushes is just so pretty. It's got that plush sort of leathery top to it, and then the powder sort of mimics the texture of the lid as well. So Rose Haze is just a very rosy neutral shade. It's very soft, it's very pretty, it's very wearable, it's very easy for every day. Peachy Nude is definitely the more pigmented of the two. This one is of course more peachy, but this one is very, very pigmented, so you want to be careful if you're fair like I am. One dip in with your brush and then build from there if you want to. So just be careful with going in with these, but these are just such a beautiful blendable blush formula. I love how they look on my cheeks, and this is a formula I love so much. I'm debating on getting more shades because I like them so much. I don't always do that, but if I really, really love a formula, I will go back for more, and there is one shade that I can't get out of my mind with these, so I might get it. I just love this formula. They wear all day long. They blend so beautifully. The packaging is so luxurious. The formula is so luxurious. They're not scented. And I love them. They're so perfect. So they definitely had to come in at number one, and I've pretty much only reached for those since I first tested them out. That is it for me today. That is all of the products that I tried for the first time in January and December, with the exception of a few that I've only tried very recently that you will see at the end of February. But let me know down below, what are some of your favorite products that you have tried recently, or what are you just loving recently in general? Let me know all of that down in the comments. I love hearing from you guys so much. Thank you so very much for watching, and I want to say another huge thank you to Luisa for working with me on today's video. Don't forget to click my link in the description box down below if you're interested in shopping anything. Thank you again to Luisa for continuing to partner with me and supporting my channel. I appreciate it so much. If you're new here, I hope you'll consider subscribing before you go. I do upload new videos every single week. Thank you again so very much for watching, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!